heard someone say this or be open about it, so I guess I'm gonna be the first. Hi, I'm a woman who gave her child to the father, the father to take care of mostly and put myself on child support practically, pretty much. Yeah, motherhood is fucking hard. It made me lose my mind. My postpartum depression was probably like the hardest thing I ever had to deal with. Completely lost myself. It's been 5 years. But I was a shit mother. Like when I became a mom, I was just bad mom, right? Like not abusive, but like I grew up with a mom who like didn't know what to do with me, and I also became that mother. You know what I mean? And the difference was that I had a baby with like a really good man. Like, he's a great fucking man. Like he's a great father. You know what I mean? Like he's a great dad to his kids. And I had
Who else would he be a great father to? We'll get there. We'll get there.
way harder time adjusting to motherhood than anyone I knew. I was like the first out of the people I knew who was like, I don't even know if I can be like a full-time mom and keep my sanity. Legit. And so yeah, that's what I did. And I'm a great mom now. Like let's just preface this. I am an absolute great mom, and I'm very active in my child's life. You know what I mean? But I'm like the weekend parent, you know? And that has always been very hard for me to fucking admit and talk about, because it's a very shameful thing, like for women to not be the mothers that society expects you to be, right? You feel like a failure, and you feel I'm still to this day hard on myself, and I don't even know like when that's gonna change. But vulnerable posts, yeah, leave some.
Yeah, that'll never change. She looks like a fun time, though, honestly. Looks like a hoot and a holler of a time. This is one of those situations where you don't really have to worry about dealing with a single mother, but she's a single mother. And it's so rare because you never see single mothers voluntarily be able to give up their child and then practically, I don't know what practically put yourself on child support means, but she don't really have to go out and do the same things that regular mothers do. Let me give her first her flowers by saying that most women wouldn't admit that they're a trash mom. But let me also acknowledge the fact that most women, um, I don't really know how to say this. It seems like every woman inherently, even though we know it's not true, would still strive to be a good mother. Does that make any sense? Are we on the same page here? Or are we off completely? Because, I just can't imagine that a woman that is not nurturing, and we know statistically speaking that men are much more likely to raise a successful child into an adult than a woman is, a single man versus a single woman. Now, that doesn't mean that he's single, and it doesn't mean that she's single, because I don't believe that she's single. Let me say that again for the people in the back. I don't believe that she is single. I believe that she is 100% out here in these streets, and that she just cut it off for whatever weekend or whenever she get her kid, in order for the kid to be able to see her as a decent mother. And so a lot of times women, they overinflate the value that they have in life, and they'll say stuff like, and I'm a great mom now. No, it's because he's a great father and he's giving you space. Now, any reasonable mother, in my opinion, would be seeking more time. Even fathers, right? Fathers that have been denied their children, they fight for more time with their children because their children is truly meaningful, and they understand that the real love is the fact that you truly want the best for your child. It's an action word, it's not a feeling. And so most people, especially women, you would like to imagine, because even women that are the most selfish, even women that weaponize the children against the father, they are unwilling to give up the child. And I don't know if it's just because they just don't want to see the father actually play a role or participate in the child's life, or they truly believe in some instances that the father is just a degenerate. I don't know how they can believe that, because that's the person that they laid their head next to and close their eyes next to every single year and every single day prior to them breaking up their families. But to see this is really a weird dynamic for me to react to, because, I applaud her, and, I just don't understand her. I applaud her in that, she identified the fact that her being in her child's life, from a co-parenting perspective, for the majority of it, and not participating with the father. And I suspect this, right? Because on one hand, it's like, wait a minute, you can't sit here and tell me how great of a man he is and how phenomenal of a father that he is, but then he wouldn't be a great spouse to you. Because the foundation of being a great father and a phenomenal man is essentially being a person that is selfless and willing to do whatever it is that he has to do to make sure that everybody is provided for, taken care of, and all of that. But I guarantee you that the breakup was probably something stupid as hell, like emotional intelligence at the time that I was going through postpartum and I was really talking to my mom and I should have been spending more time with you. It's like, I bet you it's some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like she's the type of person that likes to play, that likes to go and have a good time. She looks like the type of person that likes to go and have a good time. She's probably only missing the septum ring. Um, and it doesn't mean that she's probably not a decent person, that she's not a halfway decent mother. But, I just don't understand how women describe all of these phenomenal attributes about a man, but is not willing to figure out how it is that they can play a role in that man's life. And I also guarantee you, like, I'm always trying to figure out also why, a man is now the person that you want to break up with now that you have everything on the line. You got all of the marbles on the line. Like, think of a woman that becomes a single mother sometimes. And you got to say, yo, she'll do anything it takes in order to get the man, and she'll overlook this. And a lot of women say, I overlooked this red flag and this red flag and this red flag. Okay, cool. So you telling me you overlooked all of that. But then when you got pregnant and you had a child, that now all of the red flags became glaring, even though you recognized them before, just overlooked them, and this is something that you can't deal with anymore, even when everything and all of the chips is on the line all of a sudden. Like, none of it makes sense. All of it is backwards, and it just kind of reminds me of the culture and the community of people that then say stuff like, I raise my standards now that I am a mother, and on the outside, on the surface, it seems like it makes sense in their mind to them. But the best thing for the child is to be in both parents' lives. And so, you know me, I'm a huge advocate for people ultimately becoming a family again. I don't like the idea that people are willing to break up their family just for what it is that they want to do. I don't like the selfish nature of today's women that are willing to do anything to make themselves happy. And then a lot of times they try to justify it and validate it by saying, well, if mama's not happy, then who is happy or who can be happy and all of that. Like, I'm not feeling it and I don't like it. And I think that it's incredibly selfish. But I do have to give her some credit, and her profile is going to be in the description simply because I always like to give credit to the content creators, regardless of whether I agree or not. I just don't understand the whole idea or the premise behind a woman willing to give her child up permanently, practically, and pay child support, the very thing that men have complained about family court law since the beginning of time. Maybe the tide is turning. Maybe there is a segment of people or women that is willing to play the role of the man, and the man is willing to play both roles in parents, because no woman can ever be both. But a man absolutely can be a better parent, I believe, than a woman, and the statistics actually show it. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of on the fence on this one. Um, Again, her acknowledging him, but then only acknowledging him as a result of the fact that she has the freedom to go and do what she want to do. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, she's a fun time and busting it down for a real one. I don't know. I got to lean to y'all for this one. Let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.